Yet, Tunisian women protesting for equal rights. Doctors in France campaigning against hospital gowns for patients. And users of video chat site Chat Roulette caught out by an online prankster. On Monday, thousands of Tunisians responded to appeals launched on social networks to take part in protests for women's rights across the country, like we see here in the capital Tunis. The demonstrations were in response to a draft constitution recently unveiled by the Islamist-led government, which refers to women as complementary to men. An e-petition was started last week appealing to the National Constituent Assembly to commit to protecting women's rights. The document was written by Salma Mabrouk, member of the centre-left party Etekato, and has been signed by over 20,000 people so far. Various groups and associations have issued a joint communiqué describing equality as a necessity, hoping to encourage civil society to stand up for the rights of women in Tunisia. Blogger Emna El-Hami states that although the Code of Personal Status adopted 56 years ago did contribute to the emancipation of women in Tunisia, the series of progressive laws has always, in her opinion, had to contend with the conservatism of sections of society. Some web users like Nidal Shemengi or Aisha Gaia feel bitter they have to fight for something that should be a given and should be spending their time fighting for greater rights to make the situation for women in Tunisia even better. When you think about hospitals, this image frequently comes to mind. A patient wandering down a corridor wearing nothing but a hospital gown, often giving onlookers a glimpse of the wearers behind. It's a somewhat comical picture, but is currently at the centre of lively debate on the French web. A young doctor using the online pseudonym Farfadoc recently launched an online petition aimed at opening up discussion on patients having to wear these gowns around the hospital. She feels these open-backed blouses have no respect for the patient's dignity or sense of modesty, and that they have no choice but to walk around half-naked in front of their roommates and hospital staff. The doctor, who practices in northwestern France, feels there are alternative clothing solutions which must be pursued so that a patient's time in hospital is less awkward and as comfortable as possible. She's gathering growing support from others in the hospital sector, like this physiotherapist, for example, who's written a blog post saying that although the famous open gown can be useful in some cases, like if a patient is bedridden and needs to be washed or changed on a regular basis, but it shouldn't be automatically imposed. The healthcare professional says the gown could have a negative impact on patients' morale. Online campaigning seeking a change in policy on hospital gowns continues. Meanwhile, around 10,000 web users have already signed a petition started by Farfadoc, and activists have already clinched their first victory because France's Health Minister Marisol Touraine has announced she will be reviewing the situation in the very near future. This photo of 19-year-old dog Shep, who suffers from arthritis, being held by its owner, has attracted millions of views online in the space of a few days. Every day, John Unger wades into the waters of Lake Superior in Wisconsin, cradling his sick dog to help ease its pain, and every day the dog falls asleep in its master's arms. This touching image was posted to Facebook by American photographer Hannah Stonehouse and has moved many web users, some of whom have even made donations to help pay for the sick dog's treatment. Not everyone's lucky enough to escape to some island paradise for the summer holidays, and after receiving numerous photos of friends sunning themselves, 2 French web users decided to adopt and photograph the same pose from their place of work. Others followed suit and a Facebook group was set up, posting all these footshots next to a computer, in front of a pile of files, and even on a building site. Steve Cardinal likes to play somewhat childish jokes on the Chat Roulette site, which connects random strangers for video chats. And for his latest prank, he decided to don a bikini and dance to the Carly Rae Jepsen hit Call Me Maybe. As we can see in this video currently doing the rounds on sharing sites, his wacky stunt certainly took web users by surprise.